lovies, welcome back to my channel, Just Missy. I'm Missy. I'm so glad that you're here. I just want to welcome all of my new subscribers. I've seen I've gained a few over these past couple weeks, so I just want to say hello to you. I'm so glad that you guys are here. So I had this idea to do what's for dinner during inflation, because I used to do, I don't even know if I can say it because it's been copyrighted since, but hun, what's for dinner? I used to do these all the time. Somebody coined that phrase and like bought the, whatever you want to call that, the right to it. So I had to take all of those videos down, and I just kind of quit doing that because I didn't want to cause any trouble on my channel. So, but with the rising prices for everything, especially groceries and gas, all of our necessities, I know that my family has taken a hit with this. A lot of the people that I talk to are struggling as well. They're just like, this is crazy. I can't afford to feed my family. We're spending 4 times as much than we used to, and it's like, I hear you. We're in the same boat. I commented like a couple months ago when we first moved here. Now, we used to be a family of 4. My son lived with us. He's 25. He lives on his own now with his girlfriend. So we even lost a mouth to feed when we moved here. And I used to be able to feed my family for about $150 for 4 of us. When we were, before inflation, when we were in Pennsylvania. And now that with the inflation and it's just the 3 of us, like our grocery bill sometimes is like $250. It's crazy. And I'm still shopping at the same places, which is like Aldi's. The only new place that I have really began to shop is this place I think it's pronounced Lidl. I'm not sure how you say it. It's Lidle. I'm not sure how you say that name, but because it's close and it's like an Aldi's and we get their flyers and blah 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 blah. So it's like an Aldi's. It's pretty much in the same range. So like, I don't understand how, like, if we're still shopping at the same stores, we're still pretty much buying the same things. We even have one less mouth to feed, and our bill has like doubled. It's crazy. So I know that I can't possibly be the only person that's being affected by this inflation. So I thought I would start a series on my channel, What's for Dinner During Inflation. And I'm reaching out to you guys because I'm sure you guys have wonderful budget-friendly recipes as well. I did post this to my Facebook group, which is Lovey Tribe Homemakers Group. If you're interested, the link is down below. Just ask to join and I will prove you. It's a private group. We're having a Christmas card exchange over there. So if you guys would be interested, it's linked down below. I put it on my Instagram. Again, that's linked down below. And I also asked this question in my community tab, and I already got some responses. But I'm going to ask you guys as well, if you have any budget-friendly recipes that you would love to share, please put them down in the comments. And if you put your recipe down in the comments, I will give you a shout out when I use your recipe in this new series. So I thought this would be fun. Not only that, it'll challenge me and it'll give me some ideas and hopefully you guys ideas as well to do some budget-friendly recipes and maybe help with your grocery bill as well. So when I was making this video, I sat down as well and I wrote down some tips and tricks that I started doing to help me with my budget so that we can kind of remain in the $150 range. That's really where our budget is for our family weekly. So I have some tricks and tips to share with you guys. I will probably do voiceovers for those things. I actually took you to Lidl's with me, or Lidl, I don't know how you say this name. If you know how to say this grocery store's name, don't hesitate to tell me down below. I took you to the grocery store with me and I showed you some of the tricks that I'm using when I go. It makes grocery shopping a little longer. So like if you want to do a quick trip, this may not work for you, but if you're willing to invest in the time, which I am, These are some of the things that I started doing at the grocery store, and I'm cooking low budget food. With that, I know this intro is a little long, but this is the introduction to this new series that I really want to start on my channel, so just bear with me. But with that, I know that low budget food can be not the healthiest, because let's face it, our world is topsy-turvy. It really is. If you want to eat cheaply, then you're going to eat processed crap. Really is what you're going to eat, because the low budget stuff in our grocery markets are processed foods or GMO, boxed stuff with a lot of preservatives, stuff, that's man-made, all of those kinds of things. So whereas they can really help your wallet, I'm not sure how well they help with your waist and with your health. So my goal is to try to make some low budget meals that are really healthy for you. Because let's face it, like salad is more, like for instance, when McDonald's did have salads, which they totally took off their menu, like I think it was during, the C word, salads were more expensive than a double cheeseburger. So like if you wanted to eat healthy, but didn't have a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like, why should salads be more than a double cheeseburger? I feel like it should be the other way around, but that's just not how our society works. So I know that like when you go to a food bank, there's many Americans right now that are going to food banks. They're getting help because inflation is really bad. And when you go to food banks or anything like that, your boxes that they give you are all full of like Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's all processed kind of stuff. So it's hard to eat healthy on a budget. And I realized that when I went shopping yesterday, when I'm going to share all this with you, it's like, if I want to get my non-dairy creamer for my coffee, that's $5 because I don't want to drink dairy and I don't want no sugar. So to get a creamer like that is $5, where if I just want a heavily processed creamer for my coffee, I can get one for $1.99, but it's full of chemicals, sugar, and has dairy in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to balance this. I went to go buy some kale. Actually, I went to get some lettuce. They didn't have any lettuce. And then I was like, well, I'll substitute that with kale. A bag of kale was $6.99. A little bag of kale was $6.99. I just couldn't believe it. The last time I went to the grocery store also, not this time, but the trip prior, I wanted to get some bacon. So as I thought I would render bacon and keep the drippings, and then that would cut down on my cost of having to buy oil. And a lot of times your oil is very processed too. So bacon was $12.99 a pound. I was like, holy cow. So like, I get it. So this is just the very first video. I do have a recipe to share with you, but my goal in all of this really truly is, number one, is to feed my family on a $150 budget and to continue to eat healthy and not cut back so much that we're eating high processed food, GMOs, not getting any greens, I don't know, like you got to balance this, and it can be really tough with the economy that we're in. So I'm really hoping that some of you guys will have some really good, low budget, but healthy food. So I hope I explained that well, that my goal really is to try to cut back on my groceries, keep my $150 budget, but still try to eat healthy, make low budget, healthy meals, which I think is going to require things like, instead of buying beans that are already like in your cans, maybe buying dried beans and soaking them yourselves, going back to making homemade bread, things of that nature, kind of getting back to old-fashioned, way back when cooking, because I don't want to eat high processed foods to be able to cut back on how much we spend at the grocery store. I still want to eat healthy, but I still want to stay in that $150 budget. So it's going to be a challenge. So I just want to put it out there. If you have any recipes, please share them. If you want to have a shout out and have your recipe featured, put it down in the comments. And I really hope this is something that we can kind of do together, because I don't think we're the only family that's kind of feeling all this. Leave me comments down below. Tell me your thoughts about inflation and how you feel about, it's cheaper to buy a double cheeseburger than it is a salad. Tell me how you guys feel about all that. But okay, I think I made the intro long enough. We're going to dive into the video. I will probably do quite a bit with a voiceover, and I have a recipe to share with you guys. It's one of my own because this is the first video. I already have 2 or 3 recipes that people have sent me over. I'm excited to share them. I will probably do this 2-3 times a month if the series, everybody likes it, and we'll go from there. So let's go into the footage. My first tip is to sit down with all of your flyers, even pull up flyers on any computer devices or your phones, and make a game plan and use coupons. We had a $10 off coupon from that store, Lidl, I don't know. There's their flyer. So I marked down everything that I needed from that store that was on sale with the intentions of using that $10 off coupon. And I made a whole list of everything I needed. And then I went to other flyers and found things that I really needed for cheaper and went there later, so that I had my list written down of what I was getting from each store. Then do price comparisons. So the Texas Toast name brand is more expensive than the store's brand. So of course I'm going to buy the store brand. Here we go with the name brand. Eggos were $2.82. But the store brand, same amount, buttermilk was only $1.99. Every penny counts. Same thing, the Bubba burgers were $14, but the store brand were $8.99. So those are the kinds of things that I do to cut cost, and I try to stay away from gimmicky things. I wanted these so bad because I love that Christmas Story. But it's so hard. You have to try to stay away from the gimmicky things, which can be very hard to do sometimes when you have children. My daughter loves gimmicky quote unquote things as well, and I did buy her one. She asked for Cinnamon Toast Crunch for her cereal, and we usually get the store brand, but they actually had the Christmas version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and because it was a specialty box, it was on sale, and I did have a coupon, so we did get the gimmicky cereal, but only because I had a coupon. But even down to like my husband's colas and things, we try to get the store brand to cut costs. These are just some tips and tricks. And then right next to this store was a Dollar Tree. And I knew from the flyer that I had received in the mail with this that I could get my croutons. They had pickles, olives. My daughter loves the snack packs, the 4 snack packs of pudding. And like the pudding here, the snack packs, they were like $3.99. Where everything at my Dollar Tree is going to be $1.25. So for things like my croutons, my pickles, my olives, my daughter's snack packs, she loves the huge bags of popcorn that they have here. I buy her those. Raviolis, all of those kinds of things. And I was surprised they had these cores or Knorrs. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, Knorrs, for $1.25. That stuff, sometimes, not always, but most of the time, this kind of stuff is cheaper at the Dollar Tree than it is at a regular supermarket. Sometimes it's more because if supermarkets are running like 10 for 10, then you can get your canned goods and stuff so much cheaper at a supermarket. So it just depends on your flyers. Your flyers are key. So if you take the time to sit down and look at things on your flyers and make a game plan, then you should be able to stay within your budget. So for our very first friendly meal here, budget-friendly meal, we're going to be making cheeseburger sliders. We're going to be making basically homemade French fries, and we're going to have some corn. So for budget-friendly, here we're going to cut price. Of course, it is more reasonable and cheaper to buy a bag of potatoes that you're going to get a few meals out of than just a bag of pre-cut, like say crinkled French fries. So yes, convenience wise, it's great just to open up a frozen bag of crinkled French fries, throw them on a pan and put them in the oven. But if I buy a 5-pound bag of potatoes, I'm going to get at least 2 to 3 different meals out of them. It's more prep work, but works very well with our budget. And unless they're having a big sale and you can stock up on pre-cut French fries, I feel like this works much better. And health-wise, I know what I'm feeding my family. There's no preservatives, there's no additives, there's none of those things. It's just real potatoes that I'm going to make into basically French fries. So to make the process more simple, all I'm doing is popping holes in them and putting the whole potato in the microwave so that when I go to slice it to fry on the stove, the cooking time is already done. It cuts my cooking time in half. So one thing I have noticed grocery shopping for a long time is that the meat that comes in the tubes like this seems to be cheaper by the pound. Now I know that this can be not the best meat, but if you do look, they do have grass-fed, and they do have, I don't know how much fat you like in your meat. Everybody has their own preference. We usually do 85 to 100, like somewhere in there, and I can find meat like that in these kind of like tubes. And places like Aldi's or Walmart will sell these tubes already frozen, but they're huge. They're almost like 5 to 6 pounds worth of hamburger. You can take something like that home, thaw it out, and then break that all down. I do that quite a bit, where I will pre-make hamburger patties. I will set another pack away for meatloaf, and then another one that I like 2 or 3 of them that I'm just going to use for like something like this, or if I'm going to make tacos. That's a great way to budget your meat as well. So as long, if you just get over not buying meat where you can see, I think that's where they get you. You can see the meat, you can see the freshness in the clear packages, but they're usually $1 to $1.25 more. If you can get over that and buy your meat in these tubes, especially your hamburger, your ground meats, you will save money here. So I'm just cooking my hamburger on the stove. I'm going to be adding some salt, pepper, garlic seasoning, and onion seasoning because, like I said, these are going to be cheeseburger sliders. And since we're going to do a big pack of the sweet rolls or Hawaiian rolls, I'm not making little individual burgers. I'm just, making the meat all ground up so that when I lay it on the little rolls, it all spreads out evenly. Now from here, this is totally up to you how you enjoy your hamburgers. We love mayonnaise and mustard on our hamburgers. You could do ketchup here. You could just do mustard. You could do ketchup and mustard. You could put fresh onions here. You could put pickles here. Whatever you enjoy on your hamburgers, you can do here. The only thing I would not recommend, because you are going to put these in the oven, is fresh vegetables like tomatoes or lettuce. You might want to add those after. But as far as like the condiments that you like on your burgers, this is where you would put that on. You're just going to spread that all on the bottom of the bun so that when you bake this, it's all baked in together. Then you're going to spread your hamburger, which we really seasoned really nice. And then you're going to cover that with some white American cheese because that melts really, really well. My husband loves extra cheese, and his favorite cheese is mozzarella. So I am going to be adding some of that. If I was just making this for myself or me and my daughter, I would have just stuck with the 4 pieces of American cheese because it melts so well. It covers everything. It's real cheesy, but he adores mozzarella cheese and he loves these. So for him, I put the mozzarella cheese on. Before I finish up with the cheeseburger sliders, my potatoes are done, so I'm going to slice them, see how hot they are, but they slice so easy. I know they're cooked through. I'm going to get these sliced and I'm going to get them in a pan with a little bit of oil and start frying them up so they get nice and crispy. And I want to get that going because my sliders are pretty much all cooked. You just want them to kind of come together and get the cheese melted. So I want to get these in the pan before I put my sliders in the oven. Now, for anybody that's ever made these, you know there's like this little recipe where you use butter, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, and you make like this sticky glaze that goes on top of these. For cheeseburger sliders, because you're using Hamburg, if you use the butter and all of that, this can get very greasy, very oily. I don't recommend that. But if you just spread a little bit of mayonnaise on the top of these, it'll crisp up in the oven. It'll get this nice brown crisp topping. And the grease will be very minimal, and then you can sprinkle on top of these sesame seeds so you get that kind of, you know, burger taste. We prefer poppy seeds, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of poppy seeds, and then you put them in the oven at 350 for about 20-25 minutes, maybe even less depending on how hot your oven is, but you just want all the cheese and everything to get all melty and the tops of those buns to get nice and crispy. And while that is cooking, I'm just going to continue to keep flipping over my potatoes and put some corn in a steamable bag. Okay, so we're going to pull out those delicious sliders from the oven. These were so good. And we're going to begin to plate up my meal. So I know this is a lot of carbs. They may not look very healthy, and I totally agree. This is one of my husband's and my daughter's, and I'm going to say myself as well, one of our favorite quote-unquote takeout meals. Who doesn't love cheeseburgers, french fries, you know, all the good stuff. So this meal not only gave us a dinner, but we had leftovers. Because there's only 3 of us. We get 2 sliders each. And so, we get a potato each, but I did 6 potatoes. I did 6 potatoes. So we have enough for my daughter and I to have lunch the next day and for me to send sliders for work for my husband. So this actually gave us a dinner and a lunch the next day. So if you put it that way, against like saying taking your family out to McDonald's, this is so much more budget friendly and you still get that taste. And I'm using real, if you want to put it, real products. I didn't buy pre-cut french fries. I made my own quote-unquote kind of fries. Corn is my husband's favorite vegetable. So compared to other things, this is so much more budget friendly. It was a meal I made at home and it provided lunch for the next day. So I hope that you guys like this video. I hope this series is going to be something that you're interested in. Please let me know down in the comments. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together for you. I think this is going to be great, and I can't wait to hear about some of your ideas, and I can't wait to make some of your recipes. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be talking to you very soon in another video. Until then, bye, lovies.